As the year comes to a close, let's take a look back at 2018's biggest winners and losers. No one likes being a loser. Who is on that list?
Let's ask Turning Point USA founder and author of Campus Battlefield, Charlie Kirk. Charlie, thanks for being here with us. It is the time of year for lists. You're going to see a lot of them this week. Who's on your winners list?
Well, good morning. So I picked three big winners for 2018. The first one is one that people really haven't been giving enough love to, and that's Jared Kushner. I mean, he had some huge wins this last year. The biggest and most recently was getting prison reform done. Of course, it was a team effort, and the president really championed it, but it was Jared who worked tirelessly for months to get it to the House and eventually the Senate. His team also helped secure the World Cup, which didn't get a lot of coverage, and, of course, the Olympics bid. And he was also behind that big trade deal with Canada and Mexico. My other big winner, which really hurts me to say this year the socialists made a lot of progress in America. Alexandria Ocasio. Look, I know, look, I'm no fan of socialists whatsoever, but look, the American people have to realize that socialists made progress in 2018. You have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez that's getting a disproportionate amount of media attention, and socialists today are in more power in more state houses and in the U.S. Congress than they were a year ago. And then finally, I think Donald Trump, look, he survived tireless attacks from the left. They threw everything they possibly could at him and the media, and he oversaw the lowest ever black unemployment, Latino unemployment, Asian unemployment, 4% economic growth. Despite all their best efforts, Donald Trump's a big winner in 2018.
Hey, Charlie, let me ask you, though, that second winner you've got there, the socialists, we're seeing, and we're going to talk about this later, Ocasio-Cortez getting in trouble with the truth a little bit, being factual about baby Jesus. But let me ask you, do you think that number two might fall off of the winning category if we really start to see socialism in action when Nancy Pelosi takes over?
Oh, no, I'm by no means saying the socialist policies are winners, but the politicians definitely made progress this year. And if people know my work at Turning Point USA and what I do on college campuses, one of my big mantras is actually fighting against socialism. But we have seen them make progress, and we have seen them get a bigger and bigger platform, and the Democrat Party is quickly becoming the Democrat Socialist Party or just the Socialist Party. And it really hurts me to say that they've made progress in the last year and that they've made headway. But as people see their policies in action, like they've seen in Portland and San Francisco, they're going to reject them. I don't think 2019 is going to be as good of a year as 2018 for the socialists.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, let's get to your losers, Charlie. Who's number one on your list?
The Democrat mob. I mean, look what they try to do with now Justice Brett Kavanaugh. This dominated almost the entire fall news cycle. They did everything they possibly could to try to use intimidation tactics to go after people that were supporting Justice Kavanaugh.
And Charlie, what about you?
President
Weren't you
Trump
harassed this year in a restaurant when you were trying to eat breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Candace Owens and myself, we were trying to eat breakfast back this summer in Philadelphia, and a huge Democrat mob came, Antifa, came within 20 minutes to try to storm us out of the restaurant and intimidate us. They threw water at us. And so the Democrat mob, I think, were one of the big losers of 2018. And one of my other big losers is the anti-Trump GOP. I mean, Bob Corker and Jeff Flake and John Kasich, they've done everything they possibly could from within the Republican Party to destabilize this president, and he's more popular than ever before within Republican voters. He's now at 50% approval rating amongst all voters, and now they just go off into the sunset, not being senators and governors any longer.
That's interesting. Corker, Flake, obviously gone. Do you believe there's still anti-Trump Republicans in power?
Well, look, there's a couple that might be taking office in the next few months. We'll see. But look, there's very little oxygen for them in this Republican Party. The base of the party, the grassroots members of the conservative base support this president wholeheartedly. They support his economic reforms. They support what he's doing for our country. And so there's very little oxygen left for anti-Trump Republicans. They had a very, very bad year, and they have less ground today than they did when they started the year.
And finally, what about number three on your loser list?
Yeah, my European globalists, I would say Macron, May, and Merkel. They had a very tough year. I mean, you see Paris in total flames. You see a fumbled Brexit deal in England, and you see Merkel totally in crisis in Germany. And all three of them have very similar governing styles. They put the EU above the needs of their own country. And you kind of see internal rebellion happening in all three of those beautiful countries. I mean, France, the UK, and Germany have amazing history. They have wonderful people and a wonderful culture. And you see them in a lot of trouble. And you can kind of see the contrast of the reforms that Donald Trump is doing in America, where America is booming. And you see Merkel, May, and Macron kind of on the ropes. It's been a tough year to be a European globalist, but it's been a great year to be American.
Do you have any big predictions for 2019? Do you think your winners and losers will trade places or stay the same?
Well, look, I don't think it's been a good year for Democrats. I don't think it's going to be a good year for Democrats whatsoever. I mean, because they're going to actually have to go to the American people and say what they're for. And they're for bigger government. They're for less freedom. They're for open borders. They're for more crime. And the president is going to be able to draw a very big distinction to saying, hey, look what I've done for the last 2 years, and look what everyone in the Democrats are trying to do. And I think it's going to really set the table nicely for 2020 to get this president convincingly reelected. And you can see what he's doing here with this border wall fight. This is why we worked so hard to put him into office, to pick the tough fights for the American people.
And let's not forget the Democratic primary fight kicks off with 9
Yes,
trillion
it does.
Democrats running for 2020.
Thanks,
Charlie
Charlie.
Kirk, thanks for being here.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Charlie.
You bet.